Okay. So I have shared my whiteboard. Acha, so in the beginning, I would like to give you a quick recap of what we have discussed so far, because most of you were not there in the last class. So yes, I'll spend some time and tell you what exactly we did in the last class, okay? We started integration 3 to 4 classes back. We know how to integrate. The idea is easy. But what exactly integration is? So this is what we discussed in the last class. Let's say this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis, and then I have a curve. Let's say I have a parabola of this type, okay? So whatever the equation of this parabola is, if I integrate f of x with respect to x, what exactly am I going to get? I will get the area under this curve. I would get the area between the curve and the x-axis, okay? And this is going to be positive. Similarly, if I make another graph, and let's say this is the shape this time around, again the equation is y equals f of x. This time, when I am going to integrate the function with respect to x, the area would be negative. This is what we discussed in the last class, and I only had Munja. That is why I'm explaining. Do not worry, you'll understand that. Okay, now I'll tell you. We have one thing to understand. Integration gives you area between the curve and the x-axis. If the x-axis is below the curve, like this case, in that case, your area would be positive, okay? Area is always positive. I'm just telling you the answer of the integration, okay? You know this, area should always be positive. But let's say if you have been asked to find this area, you are going to integrate f of x, but when you will integrate this, you will get negative answer. So all you need to do is just remove that negative sign and write down the area as it is. Okay, you are getting negative area because this is the line of x-axis and it is above the curve, right? This is the only thing I want you to understand here. We have two scenarios. Integration is always giving you area between the curve and the x-axis. Whenever your curve is above the x-axis, the integration would be positive. The integral would give you a positive answer. So this would be area as it is. For such scenarios where x-axis is above than your curve, your area would be negative. So all you need to do is remove the negative sign. Any doubts in this? Yes. Please tell me Haris, Ishal, Aditya, and Munja. Is this okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So, right. Okay. Haris and Ishal are saying it's good. Right. Okay. So you will get a better understanding once we talk about an example. Okay. So let's talk about example number 1. Please stay attentive because this is very, very important. So let's say this is the curve, this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis, and I'm going to make the curve now. So it is going to be something of this type, okay? And the shaded region is okay. So these are the two shaded regions, and the examiner wants you to find the total shaded region, okay? You need to find the total shaded region, okay? And the equation of this curve is y equals x, x minus 2, x minus 6. This is 0. What would be this and what would be this? Haris and Ashal, can you tell me? What would be the x coordinate at this point and what would be the x coordinate at this point? This is your equation. You can take your time and think about it because we are done with the plotting. So this point is when y is 0. This is when y is 0. So if you plug in 0 in y, you will get x, x minus 2, x minus 6, right? So it would be x equals 0, x equals 2, and x equals 6. This is important. You should be knowing this. Is this okay? Yes, Haris Ashal Aditya. Did you understand this? Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Right. Now, what is the idea? We need to find the shaded region. So we know that whenever you have been asked to find the shaded region, you are going to integrate it. Now, the thing is, this is, let's say, area A, and this is, let's say, area B. For A, we are going to integrate from 0 to 2, and the function is this x, x minus 2, x minus 6, okay, with respect to x. And then for B, you are going to integrate from 2 because that is the smaller limit, and then 6, that is the upper limit, and then same would be the function dx, okay. And we know that whatever the answer is for A, it would be positive. Whatever the answer for B comes out, that would be negative because the x-axis in this case is above than the curve, okay. So for finding the total shaded region, we will do A plus minus B, right? Why would I do minus B? Just so this value gets positive, or the best way is just to A plus B, and B would be the positive answer only, right? This would be negative. Just remove the negative sign, and whatever answer you're getting as the area, just add both of them, and that would be your value. Okay. Now let's integrate it quickly without wasting time. I want all of you to help me with this. We have done this question in the last class, but since most of you were not there, that is why I'm doing it again. Okay. So let's find the area of A. Again, we are integrating. I'm going to keep the limits as it is, and I am going to expand this first, okay? That's so function is simplified. So x into x would give me x squared minus 2x, brackets closed, and then x minus 6 is going to come as it is. And then again, I'll write down the integral sign as it is, and first I'll multiply both of these factors. So this would give me x cubed minus 6x squared minus 2x squared plus 12x dx. And now I can just do another step, simplify this. X cubed minus 8x squared plus 12x dx. Okay, and now I can integrate it. How do we integrate? We integrate by writing down the variable as it is, adding 1 to the power, dividing it by the power. Minus 8x. 2 is the existing power. This would become 3 because it's 2 plus 1 divided by 3 plus 12x squared by 2. And the limits are going to come here. This is 2 and this is 0. This is 1 times and this is 6 times. Okay. Can you please plug in the limits and tell me the answer? Just plug in 2 and then 0 and then just tell me the answer. Yes, even if the answer is wrong, you know that I would not mind. I just want you guys to participate, okay? Just try doing it on your own. It's completely fine if you're getting a wrong answer. That's okay. You know that. Okay, so very well done. Excellent, Aditya. Very well done. It is 20 by 3. Very good. Okay. So this is 20 by 3. This is 20 by 3. Very, very good. Okay. Now we need to find B. So let's do the working for B. Everything is going to be same except the limits. So I am just going to change this part only. Okay. Now we are working for B. So the limits are 2 and 6, 2 and 6, and then 2 and 6. Okay. So yes, now what would be the answer? Haris and Ashal, did you watch the recordings? Do you guys know that first you'll plug in 6, then you'll put a minus sign, and then you'll plug in 2, and then that would be the value? Do you know this? Okay, good, good, Ashal, very good. Please do this and tell me the answers. The answer would be negative, okay? So don't worry if you're getting a negative answer. It is supposed to be negative, and I told you the reason already. Yes, Munja, can you tell me the value? We did this in the last class.
Um, 20/3. Hello?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay.
20/3. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, I am getting 3 different answers from all of you. Let's check this. Okay. So let me just, make some more space and then write it down. Okay. So I can rub this. Yes, very good, Aditya. Now it's correct. Excellent. Okay, let's do it together. So this is x to the power 4 by 4 minus 8x cubed over 3. And then we are going to have plus 6x squared. This is what we got after the integration, 2 and 6. 2 and 6. Okay. Next steps would be here. Okay. Now I'll plug in 6 first, and that would give me 6 to the power 4 over 4 minus 8 into 6 cubed over 3 plus 6 into 6 squared. Whatever you're getting minus, and you can easily write down for this one using the previous answer, that was 20 by 3. So this is minus 42 2 whole by 3, or you can just write it down as an improper fraction. This would be minus 128 over 3. Okay. Now we are getting a negative answer. This is what I wanted to discuss. Please pay attention. If your calculations are wrong, it's okay. You just need to do them patiently and you would get the right answer. The most important thing is that whenever you come across such a question, never ever try integrating it this way, that you put 0 and 6 and then you plug in the function. No, that would give you a wrong answer certainly. You need to divide such areas into 2 parts. And now, since we're getting a negative answer, the total shaded region would not be minus 128 over 3 plus this. It is supposed to be A, that is 20 by 3, plus B, that is just 128 over 3. The negative is just because of the orientation, right? You are going to ignore that. And the final answer is going to be 49 1 by 3 units squared, right? So any doubts in this question? Anything that you have not understood? Haris, Ashal, Aditya, and Munja, please confirm if you have understood this or not. This was an old example. That is why I had to do it this way. Yes. Is this okay? All of you, please tell me.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
All right. What about the other students? Please confirm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. All right. This is good. Okay. This is what we discussed in the last class as well, right? Let's talk about the second example for today. Example number 2. Okay. Now let's say this is the question. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and your curve is something of this type. And the shaded region is this one. Okay. And the equation is x equals y, 4 minus y, and this point is 4, and this point is 0. Okay. Now this is your question. This is the diagram, and again you've been asked to find the shaded region. Now what exactly is the difference here? We have been doing curves with this type, y equals f of x, right? We have been integrating x squared, x cubed plus x squared, y equals x plus 1, x plus 2, and things of this type, right? We used to have x as the variable. Are you getting my point? And the difference in this case is that we have y as the variable. So it is completely fine. This is maths and things obviously can happen. It's completely fine. So I'll write down both the scenarios just so things are clear. So when we used to have this y equals x into x minus 4, this is 0, this is 4, this is x-axis, and this is y-axis. Okay, so in order to find this shaded region, we used to integrate from 0 to 4, and we used to integrate f of x with respect to x. Okay, the difference here is that the variable is y. So obviously if the variable is y, the limits would also be of y, and we have them. So it would again be 0 to 4, but this time around it would be y, 4 minus y with respect to y. Okay, this is what you need to understand. I'm explaining this again, please pay attention. What is the difference? We are used to such questions where the area used to be bounded between the curve and the x-axis. So we used to integrate with respect to x, and the variable in the curve used to be x, and these used to be the limits on the x-axis. For this question, everything is different. The area is bounded between the y-axis and the curve. That means the story is different. You will be integrating with respect to y. The variable in your curve would be y, and the limits would be on the y-axis. Okay, this is the difference which you need to understand. Any doubts in this? Are you comfortable with the difference in both of them? Yes, Ishal, Munjya, Aditya, please tell me if this is okay or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, ma'am, it's okay.
All right, very good. So let's do it quickly then. Okay. So this integration would be simple. Solution is going to be, first I'll rewrite the integral sign, I'll simplify the function. It would be 4y minus y squared with respect to y. Now in order to integrate it, I am going to do 4y squared over 2 minus y cubed over 3, and then the limits 4 and 0. This is 1 and this is 2. So the simplified function is 2y squared minus y cubed over 3, and the limits are 4 and 0. First, I'm going to plug in 4. 2 into 4 squared would be 16 minus 4 cubed is 16 into 4. That is 60. Sorry, so 64 over 3, and then minus, when we plug in 0, we are going to get 0. Okay, so the answer is going to be what? Can anyone tell me? The answer would be 10.67 units squared. Okay, so I'll repeat this one last time and then we'll go to the next example. Okay, please pay attention. This is the question that we were given. The difference was that this time around, the area was bounded by the y-axis and the curve, and we are used to such scenarios. Okay, so everything would be different. In this scenario, we used to have dx, the limits used to be from x-axis, and the function used to have the variable x. Okay, but when the area is bounded by the y-axis and the curve, you will be integrating it with respect to y. The curve would have variable y and the limits would be from y-axis. Okay, so I just made this integral using this and I integrated it. I plugged in the limits and this is what I got as the answer. So yes, Haris, did you understand this? Okay, very good, excellent. Acha. Now I have cleared the screen and let's talk about another question. So let me write down the question. Now this is important. It says, the diagram shows, this is just like a past paper question, so please pay attention. The diagram shows the curve y equals minus x squared plus 8x minus 5, and the line y equals x plus 1 that intersect at points 1, 2 and 6, 7. Find the shaded area. Okay, I'll write down I'll make the diagram. Right, so this is the question. Here's your y-axis. This is the x-axis. And this is a line you have on the x-axis, y-axis. Okay. The equation of this curve is y equals minus x squared plus 8x minus 5. The equation of this line is y equals x plus 1. This is 1 and then this is 6. Okay. And this is the shaded region. Okay. The diagram shows that the curve, this, and the line that intersect at points, this point is 1 2 and then this point is 6 7. Find the shaded area. Whatever the description is, you can see that from the diagram as well. So this is what you need to do. You need to find the yellow shaded region. Yes. How are we going to do this question? Any idea? Anything that you know about it? Acha, okay, I'll tell you. Now, basically, if we integrate this curve, minus x squared plus 8x minus 5 from 1 to 6, this would be the area that we get after solving the integral, right? This is what we are going to get. And if we subtract the area of this trapezium right here, we are going to get the yellow region only, right? Is this okay? If we subtract this, if we subtract the area of the trapezium, we are going to get the shaded region only. So this is how we do such questions. I'll repeat, okay? This is the curve and this is the line, and you need to find the yellow region only, okay? In order to find the shaded region only, you cannot just find the integral and say this is the answer. This would give you the area bounded by the x-axis, the line of x equals 1, the line of x equals 6, and this curve. So this would give you a total of this area. But we are not interested in all of this. We are only interested in the shaded region there. So for this, once we have the total area, we are going to subtract the area of this trapezium right here, this one, using the formula of area of trapezium, and then that would give us the exact answer, right? So let's start our working for this. Okay. This is the solution of this question. All right, please pay attention. Step 1 would be integrating this thing, okay? So it would be minus x cubed over 3 plus 8x squared over 2 minus 5x. Limits would be 1 and 6. Let's simplify this. And yeah, now we'll plug in 6. So it would give me minus 6 cubed by 3 plus 4 into 6 squared minus 5 into 6. And then minus. And now I need to plug in 1. So minus 1 by 3 plus 4 and then minus 5. So yes, we can simplify this and find the answer. I want all of you to do this calculation and tell me whatever you're getting. This is 42 and then minus, and let's calculate this. I want all of you to do this calculation, please. This is minus 4/3. So the sum is going to be 42 plus 4/3, and that is 130/3. Okay. What is 130/3? 130/3 is all this area that is bounded by the x-axis and the curve, okay? But we are not interested in all this area. We are only interested in the shaded region, that is this one. So we need to find the area of this trapezium and then subtract that. So area of trapezium would be what? Okay, very good.
A plus
Okay. So area of trapezium. Yes, how do we find area of trapezium? It is 1/2 the sum of parallel sides into the height. Okay, so yes. Now we need to use our previous knowledge. What are the two parallel sides? This is the first parallel side, so the length is 1, and sorry, the length is not 1. I'll write down the length.
2.
Yes.
2 plus 7.
Okay. So we have been told that we have these 2 points. So this is 2, and then
7.
this is 7. Okay, very good. So this length is 2, and then that length is 7. So 2 plus 7, and then what about the height?
The height.
Yes,
5.
Aditya, certainly. You can also integrate the straight line. That would give you the correct answer as well. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the height is 5. Very good. So this would give you 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 into 5 is 45. 45/2. So
22.5.
yes, this is 22.5. Okay. So the shaded area would be the difference of 130/3 minus 22.5. So what is the answer? It is
20.8.
very good. 20.8 units squared, right? Okay. Haris, Ashal, Munja, and Aditya. Any confusions, anything that you have not understood in this question? Yes, Aditya, you can certainly integrate this as well. I've answered that already. We could also integrate the straight line. Yes, you can. You could have integrated the straight line as well. Okay. So basically, Aditya is saying that instead of finding the area of trapezium, what if we integrate x plus 1 from 1 to 6? Okay. So you can check that. It would be the integration from 1 to 6. Let's do it directly. So this would give you x squared by 2 plus x, and then 1 to 6. So for 6, we are going to get what? 36/2 plus 6. That is 24 minus 1/2 plus 1. That would be 3/2. So this is going to give you 22.5 as well, right? So this way or the other, you would get the correct answer. Okay, so you can certainly integrate this as well. Yes. Is this okay, all of you? Please tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, very good. Acha, let's talk about another question now. I'm going to make the diagram directly. I don't want an answer from you guys, but I would certainly want all of you to participate and just tell me the idea behind the question, okay? That how can we solve this? So just pay attention, I'll make the diagram. And the shaded region is this one. Okay, I'll write down the equations quickly. This is y equals to x minus 9. And then this is y equals x squared minus 6x minus 2. This is the y-axis, and then this is the x-axis, and this is the x. Okay. Again, the question is that you need to find the shaded region that is shaded with the yellow color. So this is the question. Okay. Again, whatever the question is, before starting your working, starting your calculations, you need to understand the idea. You should know that what exactly you are going to get once you integrate it. Okay. So let's do some discussion about the question first. Right. So what do you think? How can we solve this question? How can we find the shaded region? Okay. Now we can do it by multiple ways. Okay. Let's talk about all the logics. One way could be that first I integrate this curve from 1 to 7, x squared minus 6x minus 2 with respect to x. Okay, this is what I would say most of the students would think. Okay, so if you will integrate this, you are going to get what? Okay, you would get this region. Okay, let's say we use this limit instead of 7, and we can easily find this value, right, by plugging in y equals 0. So let's say this was a, whatever it was, right? So doing some calculations, you were able to find this pink region, but then you need to do some extra working, subtract this area, add this area. So this would be time consuming, that would take lots of time, and it could be that you get wrong answer, because if you have to calculate too many things, it could be that you just make some mistakes and you get the wrong answer, right? For these questions, whenever you have such scenarios, I'll tell you the exact solution, and this is going to work every time. Okay, so for such questions, when you have area between two curves, okay, now this is the area between two curves. One is a straight line and the other one is a parabola. So this is how we do such questions. You will integrate the line, that is the curve above, 2x minus 9 from 1 to 7 with respect to x, and then you will subtract it from this integral. Okay. This is how we do such questions.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when you are going to integrate this line, what exactly are we going to get? Yes. So for this, you need to think about this line on its own, and you will see the area between the x-axis and the line. Okay. And then once you're done with that, you need to subtract this from the area that would be basically coming between the x-axis and the curve. But for these questions, you need not think about how to do it other way around. Yes, you can do this question from multiple ways. Obviously, as I told you earlier as well, you can first find this area, then you can find this area, then you can find this area, but that would take too much time. Okay. So there's no point in wasting your time in all these calculations. It's good that we do it directly. And this is the direct approach which we can use in all questions of this type, right? So any doubts about it?
Ma'am, is it always that we need to integrate first the line, or we can integrate the hyperbola first? Is it?
Yeah, okay. That is a very
is
good
there?
question. Yes, I got your question. So I'll talk about the previous scenario, the example
Okay.
that we have just done. So we could have used the same thing for that as well. This is what we had. The parabola was above, and then this was the line,
Mm.
and this was the area. Okay. So in
Yeah.
that case, we are supposed to integrate the parabola, and this was minus 6x squared plus
Mm.
8x minus 5 with respect to x.
Yeah.
Whatever the limits were, we will just use this limit and we will use this limit. So this was 1 and 6, 1 and 6, and then subtract it from the equation of the line.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is the difference? In the previous example, parabola was above and the line was below. So we just integrated parabola first and then we subtracted it from the integration of line. In this case, line
Okay.
is above and the parabola is below. So that is why this thing has changed, right? So this is
Okay.
the best possible way. There's no point in wasting your time in thinking about this shape. As Aditya said already, we could have integrated this in the first part as well, right? But obviously, for some examples, we need to understand the idea as well, and then we can easily do any integration. So any doubts in this, Aditya? Aris and Vishal?
Thank you. It clears everything.
Okay. And what about the other students? Please confirm quickly. Okay, Haris?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Well done. Okay. Now we can easily just start the working on it. Okay, very good, Vishal. Right. Now integration is easy. The only thing is that your scenarios are going to change, and this is the your go-to option. Okay, whatever line curve is above, integrate that, then put a minus sign and then integrate the thing below it. But be very careful with the limits. Okay, just look at these limits. Why are we using 1 and 7? Because these are the points of intersection of the line and the curve. Okay, we are not using this point and this point. Be clear with this. It could be that the examiner is giving you that just to confuse you, but always remember, for such scenarios, whenever you have the area between two curves, it could be a line in the curve, or it could be two curves as well. Okay, in that case, you will just subtract two integrals and the limits would be the points of intersection. Okay. So 2x minus 9 would be 2x squared by 2 minus 9x, and the limits are 1, 7. 2 and 2 would be cancelled. Minus sign is going to come, and then x cubed by 3 minus 6x squared over 2 minus 2x, and then again the limits are 7 and 1. Okay. So just do your working and tell me what answer you're getting for this one. Okay. And what about this one? Let me do it as well. So it would be 49 minus 97 minus 14, and then minus, we plug in 1. So 1 minus 9. So this is going to be minus 14 plus minus 6. Okay. This is minus 46.67, and then minus, and then plug in 1 by 3 minus 3 minus 2 says minus 4.67. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I'll get back to your queries. Let me just write down the answer first, and then I'll answer your questions. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, so it would become negative minus 46.67 plus 3 minus 40. Okay, that's minus 6 minus 42, and the final answer is going to be 36 units squared. Okay, now listen to me, please. Okay, I got some messages. How is it minus 40? Okay, Ishal, okay. Now I understand your question that while calculating this, we started getting the negative, like this was in the formula, but this was negative, this was negative. And students might think that they are going in the wrong direction, but no. As I told you earlier as well, this is your go-to formula. Once you will simplify this, I did not play with the signs. This is what I was getting. The final answer would be positive, and this would be the correct answer. Okay. So yeah, okay, that's okay. Right? So this would be the answer. Any doubts in this question? Anything that you have not understood? This is the last example for today, so I just want you guys to be clear with it. Yes, Haris, Aditya, Vishal, and Munja, please tell me if this is okay or not.
Yeah.
Yes. Any doubts in this? Please tell me, I'm asking all of you.
Ma'am, where did you get the 6?
Okay, yes.
Did you get it wrong? 49 minus 63.
49 minus 6. Where exactly?
To x squared there. So that is 7 squared minus 9.
Oh, you're saying this minus 6? Okay. All right. So it is 6x squared minus 9x. You'll plug in 7 and 1. When I'll plug in 7, it would become 49 minus 63, and then minus 1 minus 9.
Okay. Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah. No, it's
I,
okay. It's okay.
I
So
forgot
this,
that it's a double. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, no,
I
that's okay.
understand.
Okay. So
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
we were getting negative answers because I told you it is all about
Yeah.
the orientation. Okay. This area is basically under the x-axis and this is above the x-axis. That is why it could be that we are getting the negative answers. Do not worry about that. I told you in some scenarios where we have two shaded regions, you will find them separately and you will add positive only. Okay, you will get negative answer for this, but you will write it down with a positive sign. You will add them up and that would give you the answer. Okay, for other scenarios
Yeah.
like this one, whenever you have area between two curves or between a curve and a line, this is your go-to formula. Even if you're getting negative values while calculating, your answer is always going to be positive, and that would be correct. Okay, so this is how
Okay.
we solve such integrals. Yes, no
Yeah,
questions.
I got confused because of, I think we just went straight to substitute 7 and 1. So I didn't realize that you had already substituted 1.
Exactly. The
So
fact
that's
that
fine.
we
Yeah.
have double integrals here, so that is why, like, we had two
Yeah.
integrals in this is the very first example. So yes,
Yeah,
that is
that's where
why
I
we
got
had double.
confused, but I'm okay now.
Yeah, but yeah, it would get good over time. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So no other questions. Aditya, are you okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then that is good. So I'll stop the recording, and then